Wednesday is going to be the last slam of the month, the Wednesday night poetry slam open. But again, we're going to be talking about that later. And why is that? Because we've got this open mic list. All these beautiful folks have signed up to read some poems by other poets, poems that they've been inspired by. You know, because like I said, what we're big on here is not only being writers, but being connoisseurs of the craft, really being into poems. If you want to be a great poet, you gotta read poetry. You should be reading way more than you are writing, and this is what those in our community do. They are very familiar with their poems and poetry, so I am excited to hear them. So that is the list. Of course, those of us who are on Zoom, make sure you have the chat open, because I will be putting the open mic list into the chat as well. And for all of our poets who are on the list tonight, you can change your Zoom name so that when the people are watching, they can see your social media handle. If you have social media, if you want to put it, and of course, if you are in the witness protection program, you can put whatever name you want. With that being said, let us get to the poetry, and we are starting with the beanie god herself, Deadpan Lizzie. Let me unmute her. Hey, what's going on, sis? It is good to see you. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Then tell us who we are going to be listening to, what poems you're going to, what poets' poems you're going to be sharing with us. And then we ready. The floor is yours.
Beanie blessings, brother, and to our community. You can find me online, ES_Strauss on Instagram. Tonight, I'm going to cover our very own Christian Moran. This is his poem, Overloaded. I tried to be tied down, but couldn't quite figure out what I really wanted out of life. So I shut down, abandoned everyone who trusts me, and tried to love me, because I couldn't bear the thought of them, knowing that I was struggling mentally, financially, and everything else in between. As pride got the best of me, tempted me and tested me by asking my ego, what kind of evil makes a lesser me, then using that knowledge with full intention to make a mess of me, embarrassing to say the least, having to cope with everything on your own inside your dome, feeling like you're so alone, but never want to rock the boat. So you do your best to hold it all together till one day you explode from emotion overload, airing out your whole soul and bearing down to the bone, where you finally exposed to be the human that you've been pursuing all along, as you hid behind a monster so he could write some songs, turning rights into wrongs and replacing your thoughts with little idea that you don't belong, like what's the point of living? What you've already given up on everyone in your life that you've ever claimed to love. Well, I'll tell you what the point is. No more avoidance. Time to stand up and speak out for the voiceless, for those who feel joyless, for those who feel poisoned, for those who feel like they're trapped and have no other choices, but to work and be slave, fake a smile and behave, while the money that you make goes to someone else's bank so they can live happy lives off your efforts you need, your time, till you're no longer needed, then simply cut your ties. Like a puppet, they say, fuck it, use you, then kick the bucket, as they throw you out with the bathwater like you're nothing, but the bottom of a barrel, so you it's a beast of a poem. So you go and grab a barrel, making sure to grip it tight, as the muzzle meets your temple, because they got you going mental, thinking that you're worthless, hoping that's the metal, gonna solve all your burdens, when it's all gonna do is leave your loved ones hurting. So I'm here to beg you to stay determined, to live a better life, to put down the bottle, to step away from the knife, to look deep inside and try to realize that each and every single one of us deserves to survive. I heard Christian read that a couple months ago at an in-person mic, and I was going through a hard time, and it really resonated with me. So thank you, Christian, for allowing me to read this in this space tonight, and for everything you do, brother. Appreciate you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Deadpan Lizzie and Christian Moran.
Yeah.
Oh, Deadpan, way to set it off.
Deadpan Lizzie.
Oh,
that was great.
For those who don't know, Christian Morant is a mainstay here at the Monday night and Thursday night online open mic and our events within the cafe. I don't know where he is now. Last I checked, he was after hybrid. He ran off to a wedding of and he hasn't been back since. So who knows? I hope all is well with Christian Morant. Also, Deadpan, make sure you put your info in the chat, which she already did. She knows what she's doing. Poets, after you read, of course, make sure you check the chat, see all the nice things people are saying about you, and you can put your info in there so that the people can know where they can give you a follow. Next, coming up, we've got my man who looks like he's come fresh from the barber with a new haircut. My man, Generalissimo. Brother, let the good folks know where they can find you online and whose poem you're reading, and then the floor is yours.
Okay, it's Generalissimo Brian Franklin on Facebook, GNRLSMO on Instagram. And so I'm going to read two contemporary British poets that I've met through the Zoomosphere. The first is Barney Ashton Bullock from this book called Bucolicism, Poems in Fragmenta. This poem is called Poor Poet Poor, and poor is spelled P-O-U-R. We poets ring out trite epiphanies and epistles to order. We succor the lift of poesy and Eversong and the disdind of monk and curfew and blackout and austerity and social distancing. We who can never be too careless in the dispense of selflessness, evangelical that this here and now is where we are, this drop of light amidst an ad hoc infinity of stars, this brief tick-tock of moments amidst nonstop eternities. We talk of lovers we may never know, whose beauty is in the acquaintance of the midnight sunset and the choriambic chimings of the freeze of breeze, and in the crystalline blues of the remnant swathness of slushing ice sheets, and how on fjord side, on mountainside, I am ever suffused in the sluice of you. We then say that we've never seen your face, but that you have become my invisible arc lit halo of hope. You are the city I will return to, built of friendships, not contrast. You are an eternal happy hour in a world without hangovers. You are the moment a house becomes a home. You are the reflection in a lover's eyes who is crying with joy for the first time. May you envelop me for the rest of my own forever, for these, my dreams are yours. And I'm going to do one more poem, which is by an amazing British poet named Ron McIntyre. And I'm going to pull it up right now. It is called The Fuck Ups. And to the top of the page. The Fuck Ups by Ron McIntyre. My people are the fuck ups. The ones who could have and should have, but didn't, who failed to be motivated by carrot or stick, who have gaps in their work histories with no explanations. My people are the fuck ups for whom things are complicated, things you don't think twice about, like eating and sleeping, like breathing and not crying. My people are the fuck ups, the undiagnosed who fell through the net, who can't help questioning, who don't blend in with the crowd, who create living out of nothing. My people are the fuck ups, the ones who never amounted to anything in the eyes of the world, but gleam with their own rubbed shiny glow, rough pebbles tumbled to brightness. Gracias, everyone.
Unmute yourselves, give it up for my man, Generalissimo.
And I think, I want to say at 10 tonight, I believe Miss Finn Bell has a feature. And is that correct, Finn?
That is correct.
And I just want to tell everyone it's if she can put the information on how to sign up for that in the chat, that'd be wonderful, because I'm certainly going to be there.
Generalissimo, make sure that you as well put your info into the chat so the people can give you a follow. And we're going to be hearing from Finn Bell in a little bit. She has her hands in a lot of cookie jars, as I like to say. But right now we are going to Dominique Colden. Let me unmute Dominique.
Hey, what's up?
I'm good, sis. How are you doing? Let the folks know where they can follow you online, and then let us know whose poem you're reading. The floor is yours.
All right. Hey, everyone. So glad to see y'all. So tonight I'm going to read two poems by two of my favorite poets. The first one will be from the poet laureate Amanda Gorman and her book, Call Us What We Carry. And the second piece I'm going to read from one of the storm gods who is currently in the building, our brother Elemental, and his book, Calamity. Make sure y'all get this book. If you haven't gotten his book, make sure you get it. It's amazing. So the first piece is from Amanda Gorman and it's called Compass. This year, the size of a sea, sick to its stomach. Like a page, we are only legible when open to one another. For what is a book, if not foremost a body, waiting and wanting, yearning to be whole, full of itself? This book is full of ourselves. The past is one passionate deja vu, one scene already seen. In history's form, we find our own faces, recognizable but unremembered, familiar yet forgotten. Please, do not ask us who we are. The hardest part of grief is giving it a name. And the next piece is called The Elements, and this is by our brother Elemental. It was hip hop that helped me find my voice. B-boy and B-girl crews breaking with style. The colors, voices, techniques, and exploits. DJs scratched, MCs made the parties wild. Blasting all over the streets and airwaves. Murals, trains, buildings, plus projects, hallways. Thumping subwoofers with that bass of change. Beats and rhymes helped me navigate the maze. It was more than just a sign of the times. Kings and queens with mics, cans, cardboard, and wax created a new schematic design with possibilities beyond syntax. What started as a form of expression combined to transform myth into legend. So that was Compass by Amanda Gorman and The Elements by Elemental.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Dominique Colden.
Yeah.
Yay,
Let's go.
Yay,
Much
PFF.
love, poet. Much love. Oh my goodness.
Great.
Go Bazille.
Yes, we will be hearing a lot of Elemental's voice tonight because he tends to be rather loud and obnoxious when cheering for our fellow poets. So that's really dope that Dominique gave him some love. Make sure that you go and give Dominique a follow at D Truth and Love. As you see in her Zoom box at the bottom, she's got her name right in there, so you could go give her a follow. Let's keep it moving. Oh, I forgot to give a shout out. We are going to hear from him, our producer for tonight, my man Ron Mark Thompson. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. We are going to be hearing from him later tonight. But right now, we are going from talking about producer to the cult leader who's been very excited about tonight, and that is my man Nick Paleologos. Brother, let the good folks know where they can find you online. Then let us know who you reading, and we ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. My name, Nick Paleologos, Facebook, IG, The Real Nick P. I'm also hosting BWAMs after this, so you should totally come by and, see me host. That'd be dope. So I'm going to do two. This is the first one. This is Kiki Demula. And it's from the book The Brazen Plagiarist. This one's called Diabolical Coincidence. The impatience, the no haste at all, the so to speak, the not speaking, the insistence, the spurious compliance, the vivid interest, the sluggish interest, the instantly, the hemming and hawing, the depending on the weather, the in all kinds of weather, the very desirable, the indefinitely desirable, and the by necessity. all share the exact same code. Tell me, when will I see you? And it's again the book, The Brazen Plagiarist by Kiki Demula. I'll drop that info to how to get the book. And we already heard this one already. Hi, buddy. I don't know if you're still here, but I'm going to read one of your poems. This is from Generalissimo Brian Franco's book, Everything I Think Is On My Mind, called Forgiven. I want to write a poem about forgiveness, but I am not sure it will qualify as a poem. Maybe it will just be a list of regrets of how I've chosen to live my life. I am unsure if I am capable of forgiveness. I am unsure if I understand what this word is. Besides, powerful and confusing, is forgiveness an idea, a construct, an act of contrition? When I forgive someone else, do I also need to forgive myself for finding myself in a situation that might have been beyond my control? And that's again from Everything I Think Is All in My Mind by Generalissimo Brian Franco. That's it. I'm done, y'all.
Unmute yourselves and make some noise for Nick
Hey.
Paleologos.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
Nick P.
Stuff.
Always dope, man. Always. Shout out Generalissimo.
See, I always talk about that a lot of people are doing a lot of things. I'm asking everyone to share their information so we can follow, because we're really being about building community here. And you know what I'm saying? Read other people's poems. Like, let's hear like from voices and words from people outside the community. And what does the community do? They're reading each other's poems tonight. It is fantastic. Make sure you go give Nick a follow, give Generalissimo a follow. All right, let's keep it moving. We just heard about her because, like I said, the community loves one another, and that is Finn Bell, who does her own open mics and interviews and poetry games and karaoke and all that good stuff. I'm trying to unmute you, Finn. There she goes. Finn, let the good folks know where they can find you online. It's a pleasure to see you again. Let them know where they can find you online, and then let us know who you're reading. We're ready for it.
You simply can find me on Linktree. It's Finn Bell. And I have admired this gentleman from the get-go since I first heard his poem. It is our very own Michael Sindler, and I am doing his Color My World. Color my world first. Color my world with the invisible, the essential, the incorruptible. Grab the widest of brushes and dip it deep into compassion, swirling it until every bristle is saturated. Make wild, sure strokes across the background of being. Cover it thickly, a viscous gesso, grounding all that will float and flow upon its surface. Let it dry slowly with the warmth, breath of love, freeing vapors of longing, rising and disappearing into waning clouds of thought. Sand it gently with empathy until its soft, smooth surface contains no crevasse, crack, or outcropping in which the dusty particles of doubt may find purchase. And then, color my world with all the shades of human, every hue born from every clime. Color my world with the cross-pollination of lovers who leave conventions behind. Color it with the shape and shade of every tribe. Color it with the strands and curls and ringlets, with fuzz and stubble and wild cowlicks. Color it with eumelanin and femelanin, with freckles and tan and birthmarks. Color it with rashes and sunspots and scars, with albinism and vitiligo. Color my world chocolate, saffron, annatto, and peach. Color it oat, wheat, cumin, pecan, and chickpea. Color it delicious. Color my world raw, umber, burnt sienna, burnished copper, and dimpled bronze. Color it smooth amber and saturated coral. Color it pale chalk, glimmering sand, and fragile rust. Color it hard and strong, soft and malleable, cold and warm, and always beautiful. And then color my world with every chroma, every pigment of plant and plumage. Color it deep forest and shocking chartreuse green. Color it swaying poppy, slithering salamander, and fluttering cardinal red. Color it bold sunflower and tart citrus yellow. Color it ripe cut mango, darting goldfish and roaring tiger orange. Color it resting robin's egg, scampering scarab, fluttering morpho wing and waving water blue. Color it drooping wisteria, plump grape, and slow sea snail purple. And then color it striped and spotted and spiked and rounded. Color it subtle and brilliant. Color it pastel and iridescent. Color it contrasting and complementary. Color it microscopic and vast. Color it wisdom and passion. Color it intellect and faith. Color it action and thought. Color it kaleidoscopic. Color it a rainbow encircling the horizon. Color it everything. Color it now. But most of all, with every stroke, every movement, every touch, color it love.
Ooh, unmute yourselves and make some noise for Finn Bell.
All right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Love that.
Always dope. Always on point.
Sounds
100% of the time.
Make sure you go and give Finn Bell a follow. You can find all her information on Linktree. And the poem she read is from Michael Sindler, who is a Monday night online open mic mainstay. He's always shouting out lighthousewriters.org. He is the one here in our Zoom chat with that gorgeous beard and hair. And I don't know, I kind of like Finn Bell reading Michael Sindler's poetry, right? I really like that. She did it justice. And what's awesome, too, is that it reminds me when I first found out who Finn Bell was, it was in the Zoom chat because she had talked about someone's poem having an anaphora. And right there, I heard all kinds of anaphras in Michael's poem. Make sure you go give Finn Bell a follow. Check her out on Linktree. Miss you, Finn. I hope all is well with you. Next, coming up, we are going to India with my man, Umesh Mohikar, who has not only a book of his own, he does his own open mics. I think he just, not too long ago, he was in a festival out there in India. My man is doing a bunch of things. Make sure you go give him a follow. Umesh, let the good people know where they can find you online. Then let us know what poet you're reading, and we're ready for it, brother.
Hey, Advocate. Hello, everyone. Unmesh Mohitkar, Instagram and Facebook. I have got a book, Light Shadow Life, on Amazon, and I've got an open mic every Saturday, 11:30 a.m. New York time. Please do join. And this poem is by Finn Bell, Tricia, Vega, and Altair. Here we go. Today, I am told today the sparrows carry the song inside their throats as they frolic with the wind's daughters. Today, I am told today my mortal body sheds its false skin, releases its shape from beneath the weight of my liver. The rivers part, the skies part. They were inseparable in their past lives, but chose to forget. How do you cleave twin souls? Where do you place the knife to cut and leave no mark of blood? Like me, they will not recall what every planet forming anew used to call them. They lose the sensation of how their waves were a courtship. A call back and forth, beckoning, messages of longing sent in lapping, lightning spark code. The rivers part, the skies part, and your beloved face, once familiar. Do we dare to step forward? Do we tempt fate with our audacity, breaking hollow bones while we try to balance? Our flight does not give us wings. We make our escape, but spines do not become permanent highways. This is the yawn of my teardrop will not flood villages and plant seedling. In fertile soil that mocked my womb barren. This is the yawn my teardrop will raise the younger stars and we will taunt each other to spine Gaia once again and again on her axis. This is the season when you finally lay down your flute and the skies will not rumble discontent, they are placated. This is the season your flute charms fickle gods and celestial ones enjoy the mercury silver turn, how they whim. Our fingertips knows each other's warmth before we forget who we are once upon a time. I do not know your name any longer as your chariot passes between the heavens. As your chariot passes between the heavens. This was one by Finn Bell. And I got one more, a very short one by Vikram Seth. All you who sleep tonight. All you who sleep tonight, far from the ones you love. No hand left or right, and emptiness above. Know that you aren't alone. The whole world shares your tears, some for 2 nights or one, some for all their years. This was by Vikram Seth. Thanks, Tricia. Thanks, Finbel. Thanks, everyone.
Unmute yourself, give it up for
Thank you
Umesh
so much. Oh my goodness,
Mohikar.
Umesh. That was
Umesh.
wonderful. Oh, I
Always
loved
dope,
it. I
Umesh.
love it in your voice.
Umesh Mohikar, make sure that you give him a follow. I put it in the chat. I think I prefer Finn Bell reading Michael Sindler's poems. And then I heard Umesh read Finn's poems. And now I'm like, now I think I prefer Umesh reading Finn Bell's poems. Build community, y'all. It's a beautiful thing. I like this trend that we're going. Do not feel pressure to read other people's poems who are in the community. Read what you want, but I am enjoying what I'm hearing thus far. Next up, we're going to, I don't know how he's going to throw a curveball to us now, right? Because this man we call the wild card, because we never know what he's going to do. And that's my man, the Withdrawn. Brother, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then let us know who we're reading. Let's see what you got. Well, let's see what you got, man.
It's Valvia. Y'all can find me at thewithdrawn.com and at thewithdrawn on Instagram. I'm gonna do 3 short pieces. The first one is by this woman named Catherine. No title. They say you never really know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. So I'm keeping that in mind while I watch you smile, because that's what I want to remember when today becomes a memory. That was by Catherine. I don't have much info because these are old poems I saved, but this one, I don't know who it's by, but no title as well. Sometimes a hello can be the beginning of another 3 years of therapy. So I don't even reply. And then the last one is by Samantha Steele called OCD. My skin was rubbed raw because someone touched me on the sidewalk without my permission. One time I didn't sleep for a week because something in my room was out of place and I couldn't fix it. I've stayed up all night wondering if all the doors are locked. So I checked once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and so on, until it's time to wake up. The soaps in the shower are put a certain way. If not, then I feel myself fall apart. I'll clean for days and not sleep or stop once. So please stop saying, oh, I'm so OCD, because you will never understand what it's like to have this crippling fear that everything will go wrong if one thing is different. Thank you.
Curveballs from Withdrawn. Unmute
Whoa.
yourselves, give it up for him.
Damn.
Yes, last
Hey.
line.
Right on, Withdrawn.
Always dope.
Make sure you give them a follow, thewithdrawn.com. Woo, especially that last poem, man. That last poem threw me for it by Samantha Steele. Make sure you go look up Samantha Steele as well. I love these nights because I also love to know who's inspiring you, what y'all are reading. And this is the second time I was doing it. And I don't know, maybe we should do this more often throughout the year. Maybe another time. Who knows? All right, let's keep it moving. Next, we got coming up my man from Florida with all the energy in the world, Gustav Salas. I am interested in finding out who inspires this man. Gustav, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then tell us the poem, what poet you're reading.
Okay, I'm reading two if I can get through them. This is from Propaganda Poet's book, Division. This is open season on poetreason. I have a Fight Club mentality in a they live reality. It feels like Sesame Street insanity every time I try to step out of the door. Trapped in a capitalist idiocracy, married to rampant religious hypocrisy, with planned obsolescence bureaucracy, inviting the vultures to feast on the poor. We follow a piecemeal constitution in need of a massive evolution. We need a new and improved revolution. They've been milking theirs for hundreds of years. It's time for real reclamation. Let's rebrand it, reboot the declaration, hopefully recapture the attention of this nation away from these systematic media spastic fears. We suffer snake charmer leadership because we have prepubescent readership. It's like a sad, sadistic comic strip. We're in a film that's both fluff and snuff. This neo-American dreamscape has been built on congressional class rape. How much more manipulation can we take just when enough is finally enough? The price is far too high. The end is far too nigh. This will be the time that democracy forgot if we fail to rise up and heed the cry. That's Propaganda Poet. And my next poem is Words of Advice for Young People by William S. Burroughs. People often ask me if I have any words of advice for young people. Well, here are a few simple admonitions for young and old. Never interfere in a boy and girl fight. Beware of whores who say they don't want money. The hell they don't. What they mean is they want more money, much more. These are the most expensive whores what can be bought. If you're doing business with a religious son of a bitch, get it in writing. His word isn't worth shit, not with the good Lord telling him how to fuck you on the deal. If, after having been exposed to someone's presence, you feel as if you've lost a quart of plasma, avoid that presence. You need it like you need pernicious anemia. We don't like to hear the word vampire around here. We're trying to improve our public image, building a kindly, avuncular, benevolent image. Interdependence is the key word, enlightened interdependence. Life in all its rich variety, take a little, leave a little. However, by the inexorable logistics of the vampiric process, they always take more than they leave. Avoid fuck-ups. You all know the type. Anything they have anything to do with, no matter how good it sounds, turns into a disaster. Now you may encounter the devil's bargain if you get that far. Any old soul is worth saving, at least to a priest, but not every soul is worth buying, so you can take the offer as a compliment. They try the easy ones first, you know, like money, all the money there is. Yeah, but who wants to be the richest guy in some cemetery? So piss off, Satan, and don't take me for dumber than I look. An old junk pusher once told me, watch whose money you pick up. It's Words of Advice for Young People by William S. Burroughs. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves, give it up for Gustav Salas. Yeah.
So good.
Yo, Gustav, for real.
Told you no censorship, man, and Gustav win for that no censorship. Make sure you give him a follow or mainstay here on the Monday night online open mic. All right, let's keep it moving. Next up is Tara Lee, who has books of her own. Tara, let the folks know where they can find your words and you online, and then let us know what poet you are reading. A pleasure to see you, sis.
Hey guys, it's good to be back. I missed y'all. But I am Tara Lee. You can find me at taralee.com. That is TERALEIGH.com. Once again, TERALEIGH.com. Today I am going to read a poem by the host of the venue on 35th Street, George Mendez. This is his book, Keys and Crowbars. He has been an inspiration to me as a poet, especially with the work that I've been writing recently. So I wanted to give him his flowers. This is called, this is a excerpt of Makeshift Man. His heart beats out of habit. Blood flows just to pass the time. He's alone and lonely because he hasn't figured out that they don't have to be the same thing. He's angry because he hasn't learned to forgive. He just keeps hanging on. He hangs on because that's what he's been told to do. He hangs on because he's been hanging on his whole life. He hangs on because he's afraid if he lets go, he may just lose himself completely. But he doesn't realize that in order to find yourself, you have to get lost first. But it's impossible to get lost within the confines of your comforts. So he's fighting and he's desperate. The windows of his soul are painted over. The doors are nailed shut. And tonight he's in the bathroom shaving his head just so he doesn't pull his hair out, wondering if he'll even bother putting himself back together this time. And all I want to do is smash the mirror in front of him so I can force him to see more than just one reflection of himself. I want to grab him by the shoulders and shake the life back into him. I want to tell him that he is not haphazard, that he was carefully designed with the ability to rebuild himself over and over and over, every time stronger than the last. You may be flawed, but not imperfect. You are not broken, George. Stop acting like you're broken. Take off that stupid mask. Stop using it to build your face up. You have reason. You have purpose, George. You are not an accident. You were never an accident. Stop making excuses. Mop up your self-pity with your pride. You have a voice, George. Use it for something more than an apology. Stop talking. Say something. Stop talking. Say something. Stop talking and say something. Stop being so afraid of everything and take a chance. Failure isn't always a bad thing. Dare to step outside your lonely apartment for once in your life. For crying out loud, make at least one of your dreams come true. You're scared, and that's okay. It doesn't make you a coward. But just because you're alive doesn't mean you're living. Many breaths get taken by dead men, dear George. You're stronger than you think you are. And I'm counting on you. That was an excerpt of Makeshift Man by George Mendez. His book is Keys and Crowbars. Check it out on Amazon. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, unmute yourself. Give it up for Tara Lee.
Yeah.
Dope.
Thank you for
Awesome.
What? Stop talking and say something. That was getting to me. And then you saw how Tara, like, what's really interesting about this night too is to see how our poets react to other poems. And you could see, like, in the middle of that poem, Tara needed to take a breath right there. She's like, Whew, I saw that, Tara. I appreciate that. Tara Lee, a mainstay here, an author herself with 2 books of her own. Make sure you give a follow, a reminder. Poets, make sure you jump into the chat and put your info so that the people can give you a follow. Okay, next coming up, we are going to the producer and sung hero of the community, Mr. Ron Mark Thompson, who also runs his own workshops and open mics and interviews. I mean, he's got his hands in a bunch of cookie jars as well, including many here at the New Rican Poets Cafe. Ron, a pleasure to have you as always, my man. I'm excited to hear who you're going to share with us. But first, let the folks know where they can find you online.
Thank you so much. I don't want to take away too much time, so I will put in the chat where you can find me outside of the New Rican Poets Cafe, my personal social media, as well as what Advocate mentioned, my Bronx Art and Fun Hub organization, and I also host programs at the Wordz, right? So I love Poet Appreciation Day. I remember we did that last year. It was so much fun, and I actually agree with you, Advocate. We should do this more often, maybe twice a year. It's so much fun. The poets that I'm inspired by are the writers and poets in the 2 New York Public Library writing circles that I've volunteered my tech as well as moderating duties for the past 5 years, and all the amazing poets and writers I met here online the past 2 years during the pandemics, including at the New Rican Poets Cafe. I'm going to try to squeeze 2 poets into my 3 minutes. Both of them happen to be my bosses, but that's not the reason I'm reading you their poems. It's because I consider them very good friends of mine. The first one I met 3.5 years ago at the Moshula Library in the Bronx. You know him as your host here on Monday Night Online Open Mic, Advocate of Wordz. I learned so much from him. I mean, you know, the things that I learned from him on the tech side, on the hosting side, outside of what you guys see here is like so valuable to me. If I hadn't met him before the pandemic, I don't know if I would be here, your producer now. I really appreciate you. This is his book, Advocate of Wordz. It has a very interesting title, A Book of Poetry and Other Creative Nonsense That Is Imperative to Your Existence. I bought that before the pandemic. It is a treasure of poems. I definitely recommend that. You can buy this on Amazon. I'm going to read you a short poem from it called Eye Candy, and that tells you what he is about. Advocate of Wordz, Eye Candy. Some people have thoughts or interest. Others have dreams and goals. I have passion and expectation. It is a bewildering feeling that leaves me dizzy at times. But I cannot help how addicted I am to that perspective. So allow the colors of the world to wash into one another. My creativity will draw the outlines, and I will see this life the way it was meant to be watched throughout the imagination of my own eyes. And that again was from Advocate of Wordz, and that actually was an example of what is also called enjumpment. If you came to his workshop yesterday at the New Rican Poets Cafe, we discussed that at length. Very great example. Thank you, Advocate of Wordz. It was tough to read. I had to rehearse that actually a few times. So, all right. And the last one I'm going to read is from my other friend, Paul Concasso. I met him 2 years ago online in New Rican Poets Cafe. He helped me through a very difficult time last year with his Men Who Heal group that he runs. He has a book out, Disappearing Boy, which you can get from 3 Mile Harbor Press. And I'm going to read you the poem One Size Fits, and I'm going to try to make a joke now. Paul, I love you. This is going to be the shortest poem you can hear from Paul Concasso, okay? So I mean that with love. Here it is, One Size Fits by Paul Concasso. All of us have a type. Schindler's List thin, starvation Gandhi thin, ungodly thin like Paris Hilton after purging 6 Big Macs. Tom Hanks, Philadelphia, Jared Leto in Dallas Gaunt. Ribs could play xylophone like my withhold of protein led to Ethiopian days of near fainting on Stairmasters after chugging a sugar-free Red Bull with taurine, which is actually bile. Scorching ice as chlorine crutch touches during first summer swim. Angela Jolie, cheekbook thin. Won't even eat a waiver thin, paper doll thin, Kate Moss thin, chemo treatment patient thin, Esprit Easter Jesus, acropiphil thin, and all these idols fit on the altar, which we kneel to nightly and make our sacrifice. Paul Concasso, one size fits. Thank you, everyone.
Unmute yourselves, give it up for Ron Mark Thompson, y'all.
You know me, I'm done with RMT.
Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you guys.
Ron Mark Thompson, sung hero of the community. Make sure you give him a follow. Ron, I don't know if you put your info in the chat. Make sure that you do so. He does workshops, he does open mics, and then he also goes to everyone else's workshops and open mics and makes them that much better. We appreciate you greatly, Ron. Ron Mark Thompson, you down with RMT? Yeah, you know me. All right, before we continue, really quick, because we have some people joining just a little bit late, and then we're going to get to Amanda Villanueva, who we haven't heard from in a while. This is the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. You could join us here on Zoom every Monday at 279-995-364. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. If you were enjoying tonight and you would like to rewatch tonight, you could go and rewatch it on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just look up New Eurekan Poets Cafe. You can also give me a follow on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff at Advocate of Wordz. When you spell words, that's with a Z at the end, because poetic license, as I say all the time. Our open mic list tonight is closed. It opens 24 hours before the show on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You would go to neweurekan.org and click full events calendar. After that, you would click on the date that you would like to sign up for. I believe next week is going to be the 2nd, May 2nd. Is the next Monday. Then you would sign up getting the artist RSVP ticket. Some people have tried to sign up before Sunday at 8 p.m. They try to sign up at 7:30 by getting the view RSVP ticket, but you can only sign up through the artist RSVP ticket, and it doesn't become available until Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. We are hearing a lot of great poems tonight. We are hearing our community read about other great poems from other poets in our community. And because we have had such a great time with one another and have heard so many fantastic poems, we have decided to put together a book, an anthology. And what we're doing is the poems that are submitted have to have been read on the Monday or the Thursday night online open mic, which was once hosted by La Bruja, but is now hosted by Ray Jane, who's actually here in the Zoom call today. We'll make sure we'll get her on to talk about that in a little bit at Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you happen to have read any poems on a Monday or Thursday night online open mic, you can submit them to me at advocateofwords@gmail. We are accepting all styles and languages. Poems are to be sent in one single file, whether they're in a PDF or they are in a Word document, and you are allowed to submit up to 5 poems. It doesn't mean all 5 are going to get in, but you are allowed to submit up to 5 poems. And please, only one email and in one single file, because I'm getting tons of submissions, which we're going to start to go through this week. Now, the deadline is probably going to be sometime in the summer. There's still a bunch of time for you to submit. All this information can be found on the Instagram of the New Eurekan Poets Cafe or on the Instagram of my own at Advocate of Wordz. Also, the Let's Write a Book of Poems workshop has been going swimmingly. We just went over editing this past week, actually yesterday, not this past week, yesterday. And this next Sunday, we're going to go over some more editing. And it's really interesting because the way we're going to go over editing this Sunday is we're going to have other people read our poems, because we're really starting to get into building a rhythm and how the reader and how their eyes follow our poems and how we can lead the reader. with our poems on the paper. And then after that, we're going to get back into writing. We're going to talk about formatting. We're doing this all year long. We've only done, I think, six sessions thus far. If you're interested in joining, you could go to nuyorican.org. The information's on there, or of course, onto my social media. It's $18 per class, but you could buy a bunch of classes, which make it cheaper. You could buy 4 classes, and it's $15 a class, or you could buy 8 classes up front. It's $12 a class. I am having a ton of fun, whether we're doing writing or editing. And of course, towards the end of the year, we're going to talk about formatting, what to expect when publishing, whether you're publishing on your own, publishing with a smaller house, a bigger house, whatever that may be. Last but not least, this Wednesday, I am hosting the Wednesday Night Poetry Slam Open here at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. The winner will get an invite to our Friday Night Slam and will be inserted into the tournament to become the Grand Slam champion here at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Our Friday Night Slams are back, hosted by Jive Poetic. Again, all this information can be found on my social media. With that being said, let us get to Amanda Ashley Villanueva, who has her own Instagram talk show, who is running her own, I believe, not open mic, she's running her own workshops and stuff like that. And we haven't seen her in a while. Well, we haven't heard from her in a while. Every now and then she does jump in and watch us. Amanda, a pleasure to see you. Let the good folks know where they can find you online. And then also let us know who you are reading. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I've missed being here so much. I have been taking good care of myself, and all the other things that Advocate says that we do when we're not here. But anyway, a couple things. I have a workshop on the first of every month. The next one is called Rebellion as a Weapon. And so many of you have supported me in that workshop, so I'll drop that in the chat, come through. Kyla Tukaya called me a poetry doula, and I was like, that was like the compliment of my life. So she just, she inspires me to keep doing what I do so that I can help you guys birth some really fucking amazing poems. I will be reading 2 short pieces. Same poet. Her name is Yayoi Kusama. She had a phenomenal exhibit at the Botanical Gardens, and I didn't even know Shorty was a poet. Went to the gift shop and went through the books and found the book of her poems, and I have a bunch of them like cut up, and I'm gonna like post them everywhere as inspiration. But let's get into it. I cannot let it be Poet Appreciation Day without saying that I really appreciate this space and all of you. And like, it's so dope to see how we've like grown and blossomed. And I think it's been a year since I've been here chilling with you guys, because someone put me on the list last year for this theme and I had to read. And all right, Now That You've Died. Again, these are by Yayoi Kusama. For my late parents. Now that you've died, your soul above cotton rose clouds mingles with powdered rainbow light and disappears forever. And you and I, at the end of our endless battles of love and hatred, have parted never to meet again. To me, born a child of people, parting is like quiet footsteps on the path of flowers. Beyond the clouds of sunset, a soundless hush. Final piece, Burst into the Sky, same author. And these 2 pieces are from her collection called Every Day I Pray for Love, and it's a phenomenal collection. Burst into the Sky. Let this indescribable depression burst into the sky. Bloom in the darkness like fireworks, splatter toward this heart. And I'll see where this emptiness leads. Somewhere at the edge of the sky, with this knife in my hand, the red blood of my heart, all I want is to die, it crimson, with force enough to shatter the sky, burst with a bang into the sky. This love of mine, this formless love. Again, those were by Yayoi Kusama from her collection, Every Day I Pray for Love. I love you guys. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Amanda.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Nice.
good.
So good.
Good stuff.
So good.
Amanda Ashley Villanueva, make sure that you go give her a follow and her fantastic sunglasses and check out her workshop. Can't wait to see you again, Amanda. I don't know where you've been, but we've been doing stuff at the cafe a lot. The stage is calling you, so don't be a stranger now, okay? Okay, no matter how many awesome things you're doing, you've always got time for us, and if not, make it, all right? Amanda Ashley Villanueva, a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic and Thursday Night Online Open Mic. Next, we are going to the Platinum Professor himself. One of our newest mainstay members. It's actually been like 3 months, I think maybe he's been a mainstay member here. And that is Doug Silver. Doug, who are you reading today? Who is the professor reading today? We all want to know.
Thank you, Advocate. Great to see everybody. I have a poem here by Rumi, who you mentioned a few months back. It's called A Community of the Spirit, and it's a poem for all of us. There's a community of the Spirit. Join it and feel the delight of walking in the noisy street and being the noise. Drink all your passion and be a disgrace. Close both eyes to see with the other eye. Open your hands if you want to be held. Sit down in this circle. Quit acting like a wolf and feel the shepherd's love filling you. At night, your beloved wanders. Don't accept consolations. Close your mouth against food. Taste the lover's mouth in yours. You moan, she left me, he left me. 20 more will come. Be empty of worrying. Think of who created thought. Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Move against the tangle of fear thinking. Live in silence. Flow down in always widening rings of being. There is a strange frenzy in my head of birds flying, each particle circulating on its own. Is the one I love everywhere? Drunks fear the police, but the police are drunk too. People in this town love them both, like different chess pieces. That poem is called A Community of the Spirit, and it's by the great poet Rumi. Thank you all very much.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for my man, Doug Silver, y'all.
Nice choice, Doug.
Nice choice, Doug.
Yeah.
Wow. Doug Silver, oh man, I love me some Rumi, yo. I love me some Rumi. All right, since he had mentioned Rumi, I might as well get into my Rumi poem right now instead of save it and then we move on because I did want to read Rumi. So, I don't even know what the title of this is, but I read it recently and I love it. So here we go. Also, wait, Doug, let me make sure real quick. Where is he? Hold on. Let me go back to my gallery view. Doug, wait, you still don't have social media, do you? No? Okay, no problem. Doug, you know, he's got a lot of students out there and he's like, look, I did my job. I don't want them to find me. I respect it, brother. But all right, let's double up on Rumi and here we go. I usually don't read, but it's Poet Appreciation Month and it's like, oh, I gotta share me some Rumi. Oh, if a tree could wander and move with foot and wings, it would not suffer the axe blows and not the pain of saws. For would the sun not wander away in every night? How could at every morning the world be lit up? And if the ocean's water would not rise to the sky, how would the plants be quickened by streams and gentle rain? The drop that left its homeland, the sea, and then returned. It found an oyster waiting and grew into a pearl. Did Yusuf not leave his father in grief and tears and despair? Did he not by such a journey gain kingdom and fortune wide? Did not the prophet travel to far Medina, friend? And there he found a new kingdom and ruled 100 lands. You lack a foot to travel? Then journey into yourself. Unlike a mine of rubies, receive the sunbeams. Print out of yourself. Such a journey will lead you to yourself. It leads to transformation of dust into pure gold. Unmute yourselves and give it up for Rumi, who is centuries old.
Nice.
Yes, Rumi.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Advocate. That was great.
Rumi, R-U-M-I. Make sure that you go and look his poem up. His poetry up. He is like, one of the things I find most brilliant about Rumi is like he could say so much with so little words, but like that is what poetry is supposed to do. I love me some Rumi. With that being said, let us now go to another badass poet, Jane Spoken Word. Jane, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then let us know who you are reading.
Peace, poets. It's nice to be here. You know me, I'm Jane Spoken Word on IG. JaneSpokenWord.com is my website. You can see more poems, more videos, my gig schedule, finally going out there and gigging in the world, and my workshop schedule. So the piece that I'm going to read is a piece that's always ringing in my mind, and it's by Larry Blackman, and it's called The Skin I'm In. Who's this face in the mirror that I see? Sometimes confused by the double standards of society. And maybe I'm wrong about the way I feel, but then will somebody tell me what is really real? Now I respect myself and I respect you too. But in the end, it's got to be, do unto me as I do unto you. Now I try to tell you it's time. Separate our wants from our desire. Separate the truth from the lie to live like people so inspired. Peaceful world just out to sea. Basic respect, humanity. And at one time seemed to be, we can live together peacefully. If we have truth, we can survive. And for that, our forefathers have died. It should be immoral or a sin if it's according to the skin I'm in. The skin I'm in. Tell me how many times can I adjust my attitude to reach and touch the sky? Basic love is the creed by which I live. But then sometimes I wonder how much a man can give. Gross injustices surround me from the highest levels of power. And you say these are the people I depend on for my survival. Is it real or am I seeing shadows in the dark? I'll let you tell me. Can you tell me, brother? Can you tell me, sister? Tell me now. Peaceful world just out to sea. Basic respect, humanity. I'm just trying to be realistic without becoming pessimistic. If we have hope, we can survive. A damn good reason to stay alive. Is it immoral or a sin? It seems to be according to the skin I'm in. The skin I'm in. Peaceful world just out to sea. Basic respect, humanity. I'm just trying to be for real in a world with less appeal. I'm so frustrated and flustered at what has been reduced to justice. It isn't immoral or a sin if it's according to the skin I'm in. The Skin I'm In by Larry Blackman. And for y'all who need further introduction to Larry Blackman, he's the lead singer for Cameo. Peace, poets. Thank you so much. It's been a great night.
Give it up for Jane Spoken Word.
Word up, Jane, word up. Tell him, Jane. Tell him.
Fuck yeah.
Jane spoke a badass poet reading a badass poem by another badass poet. What would you expect? Jane spoken word, a mainstay here, the Monday night online open mic, and OG within the New York community. Jane, it's a pleasure to hear your voice. You don't be a stranger, and I like your background. You know, it's so funny the contrast. She's a badass poet, but she has like such a such an inviting and friendly background, like such a festive background, but you ain't want to catch her in a dark alley on a bad day. That's all I'm saying, yo. That's all I'm saying. Jane spoken word. Appreciate you, sis. All right, let's keep it moving. Next up, we have Casey Catch, who is new to the Monday night online open mic, but I know that Casey has rocked out at the Thursday night online open mic. Yes, I'll be watching the Thursday night online open mics. We're going to speak to Ray J next. So, Ray, get ready to unmute yourself because I'm going to unmute you right after Casey. Casey, it's a pleasure to have you here on Mondays. Let the good folks know where they can find you online. No, first off, because you're new to Monday night, where are you located? You ain't got to give us your exact address, but some whereabouts. Where are you located, Casey?
So I'm in Windsor, Ontario, in Canada.
Oh, across the border, Ontario, Canada in the building. That's what's up, Casey. Well, Casey, we've been doing the Monday Night Online Open Mic for 108 weeks. Where have you been?
I don't know, but I'm glad to be here now.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to have you. As you see tonight, now this is the only night we do this side of the year where we read other poets' poems, so I hope you're prepared with that. But if you have social media, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then let us know who you are reading tonight. The floor is yours.
So you can find me on Instagram at createdby.casey. I'll add it in the comments when I'm finished. But tonight I'm going to be reading a super short poem, but it's my absolute favorite. It's a classic. It's called Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And that's by William Ernest Henley, Invictus.
Ooh, unmute yourselves. Give it up for Casey, y'all.
Hey,
Yeah.
One of us.
One of us.
One of us.
Casey, I don't know if you heard, but the people chanted, which means you messed up. You messed up because the people said you're one of us, which means every Monday night you have to come and hang out with us now. You're one of us. You are part of the cult, Casey. Casey Catch, representing Ontario. And later on, we're going to get to Liam. He said he's from the 6. I don't know if that's Ontario language or Canadian. I don't speak Canadian, so whatever code he was letting you know about that, make sure you check that out. Casey Catch, I hope you return to the Monday night so that we can hear your poetry here on Mondays. Thank you very much, Casey. Real quick before we get to our next poet, I do want to unmute our Thursday night online open mic host. She's been doing it for 3 weeks now, and that is Ray Jane, who is familiar with Casey. Ray, let the good folks know about Thursdays. The floor is yours, sis. A pleasure to see you.
What's up, family? What's good? I'm Ray Jane, as he mentioned, the host of the Thursday night online open mic. You could catch us 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to get down with us, you'd like to jump on the list, you need to sign up 24 hours ahead of time. When is that, guys? That's Wednesday night at 9 p.m. theneweurekan.org. Get yourself up on the list. Come party with me and Casey. You already see what it is. It's already a good time, okay? Great job, as always. Shout out to you, Advocate. You know I love you.
Thank you, Ray. Make sure that y'all go check out. We like to call her Thunderlung. I know she had such a nice voice right there, but when she reads her poetry, it's like she calls to the ancestors and they all speak at once. It's like a Thunderlung. Love it, love it. Welcome to the hosting family, Ray Jane. Ray has always been part of the family, but now she's part of the hosting family. I'm excited to have her on board. Thank you, Ray. So, also, before we go to our next poet, the urban cowboy poet, I'm hesitant to go to him because my lady got a thing for urban cowboy poet. We'll be hearing from my lady later on. Real quick, we're going to go to the honey trap, Mr. Paul Conqueso. Now, you know that every second Saturday we host a hybrid open mic, and then afterwards we have our after party, the karaoke, the first of its kind at the New York, although karaoke's been done before. But it's the first time that we've been doing it at the New York. It's hosted by this man, Mr. Paul Conque. So let the good folks know where they can find you online and let them know a little bit about that karaoke.
Y'all can find me at Paul Conqueso on IG and Linktree. And the historic, this is going to be only the third time we ever do karaoke within the walls of the historic New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I'm honored to host it. Advocate pushed me into it. It started at Finn Bell's platform and evolved from there. He put the bug in my ear, and then I asked Bru, and Bruja was like, yeah, I'm karaoke. So we're gonna make it happen. And it's been happening every month since March. May 14th, following the hybrid show. That's gonna be Saturday, May 14th. Advocate is hosting the hybrid online open. It's a hybrid, so it's online and in the cafe from 7 to 9. Myself, Ron, and Maddie Marroquin are the dream team taking on karaoke, starting at 9:30, going until roughly 1 a.m. But yeah, come through. Have some drinks, queue up some karaoke, come vibe with us. Even the people who don't jump on stage are running around dancing, singing along. It's a really good time. You can join in person and online. Please jump on neweurekan.org/calendar and you can buy your tickets along with getting your tickets for hybrid. Appreciate you, brother.
Mr. Paul Conqueso. Yeah, we get lit at karaoke. It's so the hybrid is so much fun, and then it just gets so ridiculous in karaoke. But when I say ridiculous, I mean in a good way. I have too much fun at karaoke. I enjoy it myself because people who know me, I'm worried so much about the show and getting everything right, and then afterwards I could just let my hair down and enjoy the festivities. May 14th, make sure that y'all come around. With that being said, we're gonna go to this dapper man who had lit up the karaoke scene and the big screen we have at the New York during the karaoke, and that is the man who shares the legends himself, the urban cowboy poet. My man, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then let us know who you are reading.
You can find me online at Urban Cowboy Poetry on YouTube or on Facebook. So I was looking through my 1856 edition, a 2-volume set of Tennyson's poems that was owned by my great-great-grandmother. That's her, Georgina Jones. I was looking for, maybe he wrote a short poem, and I found one that reads like one of my urban legends. If I wrote in 19th century English, who knew? So The Goose by Alfred Lord Tennyson, published in 1832. I knew an old wife, lean and poor, her rags scarce held together. There strode a stranger to the door, and it was windy weather. He held a goose up on his arm. He uttered rhyme and reason. Here, take the goose and keep you warm. It is a stormy season. She caught the white goose by the leg. A goose, 'twas no great matter. The goose let fall a golden egg, with cackle and with clatter. She dropped the goose and caught the pelf and ran to tell her neighbors, and blessed herself and cursed herself and rested from her labors. And feeding high and living soft, grew plump and able-bodied, until the grave churchwarden doffed, the parson smirked and nodded. So sitting, served by man and maid, she felt her heart grow prouder. But the more the white goose laid, it clacked and cackled louder. It cluttered here, it chuckled there, it stirred the old wife's middle. She shifted in her elbow chair and hurled the pan and kettle. A Quincy choked that cursed note, then waxed her anger stronger. Go, take the goose and wring her throat. I will not bear it longer. Then yelped the cur and yawed the cat, ran gaffer, stumbled gammer. The goose flew this way and flew that, and filled the house with clamor. As head and heels upon the floor they floundered all together, there strode a stranger to the door, and it was windy weather. He took the goose up on his arm, he uttered words of scorning. So, keep you warm or keep you cold, it is a stormy morning. The wild wind rang from park and plain, and round the attics rumbled, till all the tables danced again, and half the chimneys tumbled. The glass blew in, the fire blew out, the blast was hard and harder. Her cap blew off, her gown blew up, and a whirlwind cleared the larder. While on all sides breaking loose, her household fled the danger. Quoth she, the devil take the goose, and God forget the stranger. That's Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for the Urban
Right.
Cowboy Poet.
Yes, urban cowboy poet.
Right.
Oh.
I can relate to him. He's like one of my legends. I mean,
The Urban Cowboy Poet, make sure that y'all go give him a follow and look up Tennyson, man. I've used his work to teach classes before. Yes, he is a legend. But go check out the Urban Cowboy Poet. And of course, following the Urban Cowboy Poet is the woman who I have to keep away from the Urban Cowboy Poet. And that is my lady out in France right now, Mariella Salazar. Mariella, let the good folks know where they can find you online, except don't tell the Urban Cowboy Poet where he can find you online. And then let us know who you're reading. The floor is yours.
Facebook friends. It's all good. You can follow at Made by Mary on Instagram. So I'm going to read two poems. The first one is 116. I can write it. It's the first poem my dad made me learn when I was about 7 years old. And he said, you need to remember this poem by heart. So let me try to do it. By Billy Shakespeare. Let me to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds or bends with a remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark which looks in tempest and is never shaken. It is a star to every wandering bark whose worth's unknown, but tide be taken. Love is not time's full, though rosy lips and cheeks, within its ending sickle compass come, love alters not in its brief days and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. And if it be error, and upon me prove, I never rich, nor no man ever loved. So that's the first poem by William Shakespeare. The second one is by Charles Baudelaire. It's Le Cygne or the Swan from his book Les Fleurs du Mal or the Flowers of Evil. Paris change, mais rien de ma mélancolie n'a bougé. Palais neuf, échauffadage, bloc du faubourg, tout pour moi devient allégorie. Et mes chers souvenirs sont plus lourds que des rocs. Aussi devant ce Louvre, une image m'opprime. Je pense à mon grand cygne avec ses gestes fous comme les exilés ridicules et sublimes et rongés d'un désir sans trêve. Et puis à vous, Andromaque, des bras d'un grand époux tombés, vil bétail, sous la main de ce père Pyrrhus, auprès d'un tombeau vide en extase courbée, veuve d'Hector, hélas, et femme d'Hélénus. Je pense à la négresse maigrie et physique, piétant dans la boue et cherchant l'œil hagard, les cocotières absentes de la superbe Afrique, derrière la muraille immense du brouillard. À quiconque perdu ce qui ne se retrouve, jamais, jamais à ceux qui s'abreuvent leur et tête, la douleur comme un bon louve, au maigre, au talent, séchant comme une fleur. Ainsi, dans la forêt où mon esprit exile, un vieux souvenir sonne à mon cœur. Pense au matelot, oublié, au captif vainqueur, à bien d'autres Done.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for
Fantastique,
Mariella.
c'est merveilleuse.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Oh,
Magnifique.
lovely.
Oh, let's go. God.
Mariella Salazar, make sure you give her a follow on Instagram at Made by Mariella, except you, Urban Cowboy Poet. Do not follow her, please, please, please. Make sure you give only joking. Make sure that you give her a follow. She will also be here for the hybrid event and the karaoke event on May 14th. She is a very talented woman. She will also be singing at the karaoke event. So make sure that y'all go and check that out. Give her a follow, Mariella Salazar. So real quick, I want to give some shout outs to some people who are not on the list, but who have taken the chance to come in and check us out and listen. Like to Holly Googe. Holly, I hope you're well. Long time no see. Tara, who recently shared their work. But Tara's here like every week listening to us act a fool. I appreciate you very much, Tara. Also, the Christy Scribbles in the Zoom call. I appreciate you, Christy. I hope all is well with you. And although we always hear him after all the poets, he has not signed up for the list. And that's my man, Elemental. You can check him out, elemental.com. When you spell Elemental, you take the T out and you put in the 2. Who else we got here? DJ Clearing is here. That's right. I saw him earlier. Shout outs to you, brother. I hope all is well with you. Of course, the OG is here, the man who's got more claim to this open mic than I do, and that's my man, Paul Skiff, the true Lower East Sider, brother. I hope all is well with you. Checking us out also is Donica. I don't know who Donica is, but she's been here from the beginning and she's still here, so that means we must be doing something well. Thank you for listening, Donica. Also here is Claudia. She was going to read tonight, but she had to bow out. I think being part of the workshop last night was just too much for her. Maybe it was an overload of information, but I appreciate you being here, Claudia. I'm just teasing her right now. Also, Jade is here as well. I don't know who Jade is, but Jade, I hope you're enjoying yourself because Jade's been here for a while. So thank you for checking us out. And if there's anyone else I missed, I will get back to them. Oh, there's also Lauer. I hope I'm saying your name right. Lauer Jerlin. I hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm saying it wrong, my apologies, but we're going to keep moving on the list. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to see if I missed anyone, but right now we going to my man in Malaysia, Julian Matthews. Let me unmute Julian. We love me some Julian's work. Also, congratulations on your short story being published. Yes, I heard it. Little birdie told me congratulations, Julian. So, and it's speculative fiction. I love me some speculative fiction. So with that being said, Julian, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then let us know who you're reading tonight.
Hi, you can find me on Linktree, Julian Matthews. Pair of poems. The first is called Love After Love by Derek Walcott. Love after love. The time will come when with elation you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your own life. The second poem is by an emerging poet who uses more colorful language, shall I say, to express his genius. I hope I can do him justice. Excuse the expletives. Fuck You by Advocate of Wordz. Fuck you for not going after your passion. Fuck you for complying. Fuck you for not trying. Fuck you for not being selfish in an honest way. Fuck you for not taking the time to listen. Fuck you for not grabbing the moment to speak for yourself. Fuck you if you think your elders don't get it. Fuck you if you think your juniors can't teach you something. Fuck you if you're stuck in imaginary borders, and fuck you if you're offended. If reading words or hearing sounds of syllables that are offensive is one of the worst problems you have in this world, then consider yourself fucking fortunate. And fuck you double time if you took that as propaganda for complacency. Fuck me if I'm ever the hypocrite and don't listen to these words. Fuck me if I stop observing both sides of the mirror. Fuck me at your own peril. Fuck me when I allow my anger to get the best of my fantasies. Fuck me if I can't see the past, the pain, and find the lessons. Fuck me if I think I'm above the contents of this philosophy, and if anyone tells you different, tell them from the bottom of your heart, fuck you. Thank you. That was Fuck You by Advocate of Words.
Oh, future self, give it up for Julian Matthews.
Yes.
Genius. The best fucking
Hey. My favorite.
Let's go.
Person. And you definitely did that poem justice.
God damn it.
Fuck you.
Come on.
Fuck you.
And your mother.
Fuck
you.
How
Fuck
Julie
you.
get words like that.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yo, I did not see that coming. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm hosting. I'm rarely thrown off guard. I don't even know what to do with myself right now. That was such a curveball. And like Julian Matthews, I love the way he read that too. Julian Matthews, make sure y'all go give him a follow. He is such a fantastic poet. He is such a fucking fantastic poet. You need to go follow him and to hear him of all the poems I've written, to hear him read that. Oh, that made my night. This has been a good night, Julian. Thank you so much. I was not prepared for it. And he threw all the explicits, and I was like, Julian, man, I can't imagine him cursing. Okay, I'm ready for this. And then he went with that one. Thank you, Julian, brother. I appreciate you. He is a mainstay here in the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Make sure that y'all give him a follow. A great poet. And again, congratulations on your short story getting published. That is an awesome thing. Speculative fiction. I've dabbled in speculative fiction. I've yet to get published in it, but one day soon, man. One day soon. All right, let's keep moving. Now we are going over to Japan with our brother Poetak, who always brings the awesome production value. Poetak, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then let us know who you are reading or who you've produced.
No time to lose, so this is all my count. Let's get started. For Brewer.
Understand the context has changed the narrative. Understand that your country was built on stolen land, built by stolen people. Chain fists can't hold hands, grip hearts in the heartland. No freedom for the free man, or say, can you see, man? We free men, we teach our seed that they need to take heed. When they see the blood-hungry field, they kill with one need. On the necks of the next black person they see, as if to pray upon their grave for the power to take away. The gift that is to live another day, we say, Black Lives Matter. But I know you don't see it this way. More outrage is displayed against the riots are looting than your white man shooting bullets, kick gas, AKs are shooting in the streets of schools, of theaters, of Jews, of Muslims, of LGBTQs, of protesting youth. The innocent truth is that America, we want to love you, but love is not a thing that you do. The loser is you. Spirit, rip, kill, take. Condemn us for doing even half of what you do, like jug or breathe. Do as you say, not as you do, is how the USA and corrupt man in blue pretend it isn't the code. But if even when we do as we're told, you act like our lives have been bought and sold generations ago. Kids with badges and murder and ravage, they call us the savage. It must be the sadness of my Puerto Rico, who was forced into an abusive marriage, and it's we the people that suffer what it feels to live in the disparage. When we are the horse that follows the American carriage, then expected to live in forbearance, while white privilege convinces that you are the heir apparent. Left us with the bruises of your abuses to inherit. Today, we are breaking generational change, I swear, because freedom is a right, not only our merit. Your jackals and jackasses that dangle the carrot just out of reach, with no intention to share it, with an existence far rooted for true self-awareness. But projection, deflection, and distorted perception of perfection still placing us under watch our officers of correction, while the most valued museums across the nations are filled with plundered collections. Ask us who we think we are, while holding our connection to our heritage, our land or whatever can be sold. Our golden goose have been robbed of her claw. Now that she's barren, you're aiming for her soul, as if you could make diamonds by crushing throats like coal. This egoic reality is out of control. This new is not normal, though that's what we're told. But you can smell the injustice better with a mask over your nose. Because racism is a pandemic with a death toll untold. And love could restore a future far more beautiful than restoring a past filled with what your hatred stole. Thank you so much.
Unmute yourselves, give it up
Brain
for
left.
my man,
Poet Dog!
Oh
yeah!
That was crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Attack the attack. You're a genius. Attack.
That was tremendous.
That was crazy. That was wild.
Amazing.
Love it. That was fire.
Poetic, make sure you give this man a follow. You can look him up, Poetic50 on YouTube. He just did a cover of La Bruja's poem, La Bruja being not only the former host of the Thursday Night Online Open Mic, but she is the executive director of the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I'm going to make sure I'm going to hit her up in a few so that she can watch it and let her know that, yo, we just heard you on the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Well, we heard your words. We heard your words. And we heard it from Japan, right? Like she did her stuff in the Bronx and went to Japan and came back to over here, now spread throughout the world. I love this fucking community. All right, dropping F-bombs everywhere. Let's keep going. Next coming up is, where is Jody? Jody Summers, there he is. Jody, who once had a poem of the week here, is all types of fire. Down in Florida, I believe, right? A baseball coach himself, right? With little, no, I thought, or are you just a fan?
Further up, Toledo, Ohio.
Oh, you in Ohio. Sorry, I don't know why I thought Florida, but you are a baseball coach, correct?
No, I work at a place right across from a baseball field. So since it's baseball season, we're busier and understaffed.
That's what I got. All right. Sorry, all those curveballs. I didn't hear it. Doesn't matter. But I am right to say you are a fire-ass poet. Whether you're from Florida or whether you're a baseball coach or not, he is fire with the words. Jody, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then let us know who you're reading tonight.
All righty. Well, what's up, everybody? My name is Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. You can pretty much find me on all platforms. I don't do short content, but I have turned the childhood trauma series into original audio reels. So you'll be seeing a lot more of them. I decided to take some poems from home. I don't do too many not covers, but I'm inspired by people. But I guess I'm always on stage performing, so it's hard to say, hey, this is somebody else's work and still, I guess, get paid for it. Anyway, so this first piece that I'm reading is by a local legend himself in a book called Black Lives, published in 2020 with in conjunction with the Arts Commission and Joni McKinstry, who is our poet laureate now. So it's by Melvin Douglas Johnson. Let's begin. Peace. Rise up. They came to the shores of our motherland, invaded our villages, and hunted us like animals. Men, women, children, our ancestors for them. Rise up. In the bottom of ships, chained together, foot to foot, hand to hand, neck to neck, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, woefully entangled by chains for them. Rise up. Deprecated and segregated, separated, families negated, transgressed, oppressed, sold into slavery, beaten for your bravery, for them. Rise up. Emancipated, divided nation, freedom from an incantation, separate schools, separate rules, segregation vestibules. Rise up. Tulsa slaughter, Emmett Till, damn Mississippi, the blood you spill, your wrath cannot destroy our will. Rise up, my people, rise up. You tried your best to destroy our plight when we demanded our civil right. Your dogs and hoses could not deter us. Your billy clubs could not defer us. With everything you tried to do, we crossed that bridge in spite of you. Rise up, my people, rise up. For all my brothers, red and brown, in a country that has beaten you down, for all who walk a different path and are victimized by others' wrath, it is time that we unite. Together we can win this fight. Rise up against the frisk and stops. Rise up against these brutal cops. This racist nation in which we live, from the poor you take to the rich you give. Rise up from shore to shore, around the world, from door to door. Lift your voices, raise your hands against oppression, take your stand. Rise up, my people. I implore, so I can't breathe, will be no more. Rise up. First time reading that. Do I have to do the section?
Oh, wait, you got another one?
Yeah. I'm available for voiceover work, but anyway, I'm learning stuff. This is the guy that inspired me to be a poet, L.J. Hamilton. Changing the mood. This piece is called Love. Cool? Okay.
Cool. You got less than a minute. Is it short?
I'll make it short.
Go ahead.
Love. Love will give me the strength to carry you when you cannot walk on your own. Love will soften my heart to console you when you need to be comforted and held close. Love will give me the sight to see you beyond your exterior. When the depths of your soul need to be known, love will destroy my pride so that I may easily step aside when the most beautiful part of me needs to be shown. The most beautiful part being you. So I made it short. Check his book out, Soul of a Woman, L.J. Hamilton. I'll leave my stuff in the links, and I'll try to be back in
Jody!
Give it up for Jody Summers, y'all.
Yeah, Jody. Woo!
The man who's not from Florida and is not a baseball coach, but is a fire poet.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all give him a follow. Jody, put your info into the chat. So Kyle Reed is supposed to be next. I don't know where he is. So we're going to one of our most recent Poem of the Week recipients, and that is Liam Galway. I just muted myself. Liam is fire. I don't know if Liam, and Liam must be from Florida, from Canada. I don't know. It's been a long day for me. From Canada, the 6th, whatever that means. I don't know what it means, but I do know that Liam's poems are fire. I'm interested to hear who he reads. Liam, if you got social media, let the folks know and let us know who you're reading tonight, brother. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much. I just want to let people know that I found Nuyo by finding the book in a bookstore. So that's how I discovered this place. So that's why it's good to read your poets. Speaking of which, after this is done, I'm going to be releasing a chapbook on my Instagram completely for free. So if anyone wants to read some of my work, just go over to my Instagram. I'll put it in the chat, and you can read some of my own written stuff. This is a poem by, it's one of my favorite spoken word poems by Brian Soulful Jones. His performance name is Soulful. And this poem is called Touchscreen. Introducing the new Apple iPerson, complete with multi-touch and volume control. Doesn't it feel good to touch? Doesn't it feel good to touch? My world is so digital, I've forgotten what that feels like. It used to be hard to connect when friends form cliques, but it's even more difficult to connect now the cliques form friends. But who am I to judge? I face Facebook more than books face me, hoping to book face-to-faces. I update my status, 420 spaces to prove I'm still breathing. Failure to do the daily. Means my entire web-wide world might forget that I exist, but with 5,000 friends online, but only 5 I can count in real life when I want to spend more time in a world where there are more people that like me. Here, it doesn't matter if I'm an average person as long as I have a profile. My smile is 50% genuine, 50% genuine HD. You would need Blu-rays to read the whites of my teeth, but I'm not that focused. 10 tabs open, hoping that my problems can be solved with this 1600 by 1700 inch resolution. See, this is the problem with our evolutions. Hunched over, we used to stand in treetops till we learned to swing down and stand upright, then someone slipped on a disc until we're hunched over at desktops. From the gardens of Eden to the branches of Macintosh, apple picking has always come at a great cost. iPod, iMac, iPhone, iChat, I can do all these things without making basic human eye contact. Do you remember as kids when we used to run and to pick and sprint and store blackberries? Now we just walk to the Sprint store to pick blackberries. It's scary. I can't hear the sound of Mother Nature speaking over all this tweeting and our ability to feel as it's fleeting. You would think that headphone jacks inject in the flesh so when we connect to disconnect the power on. So we are powerless. They got us love drugged like e-pills. So we e-trade, email, emote like e-commerce because now money can buy love for $9.95 a month. Click. So let me just update my hardware. Click. Let me update my software. Click. Let me hold my daughter in a Skype conference call while she's crying in the crib in the next room. Click. So when my phone goes off on my hip, man, I touch and I touch and I touch because in a world where voices are only read and laughter is never heard, I'm so desperate to feel that I hope technology can reverse the universe until the screen can touch me back, and maybe it will when our technology becomes advanced enough to make us human again. Thank you.
Woo, what a cover! Give it up for Liam.
Amazing.
Cover some shit like you wrote it. You wrote it.
You would think you wrote that.
Please look it up. It's a great poem. It's a great poem. I had to shorten it a bit for length. But yes, I'll be releasing a chapbook after this. Hopefully, please read it. And I would love any feedback. Love you all.
that poem.
Go check out Liam Galway, one of our most recent recipients of Poem of the Week, a fantastic poet. Awesome. Loved it. Loved that performance and all of that. And he put up there Aloud, which is, if I'm not mistaken, is the last anthology that the Nuyorican Poets Cafe had done. It's not the first, it's the latest that they've done. So our next anthology that we are going to be doing is the one that we're doing for the Monday night and Thursday night online open mic. And who knows, maybe that someone will find that in a bookstore and then find the Nuyo because of that. Also, I'm probably not supposed to say it, so I'm going to say it real quick. we're doing a loud part 2. But I'm not allowed to say that. Let me move forward. I'm not allowed to mention anything about that. And we are going to move to our final poet of the evening, who's also gotten a poem of the week as well. And it's Kyla Togaya Garcia. Kyla, let the good folks know where they can find you and your talented poetry and art online, and then let us know who you are reading tonight. Floor is yours.
Hola, poet familia. This night has been food for my soul. I am streaming from unceded Tongva land, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this community and hear everyone celebrating each other and hear amazing poets that I admire read the words of other poets and our community and amplify everyone's voices. So thank you for this night, Advocate. This is really special. I'm putting a poet in the chat. I'm gonna drop a little poet there. That's a poem that really moved me. I'm not gonna read that, but I wanna share that with all of you about not doing things halfway. It's why I haven't been here in a couple weeks, because I wanted to be here fully and I was tired of getting here late after work. I wanted to be here fully with all of you. So I am reading a piece from Alyssa Washuda. She's a Cowlitz author. This book is called White Magic. I highly recommend you read it. All the trigger warnings for it, or I could read it to you. I'm the narrator of it. But here is the piece that I want to share. The self-help book says you will know you are almost to the gates of paradise when you feel like you are falling into the pits of hell. The structure of your entire self shifts and falls to pieces. Love turns to chaos. The paradise ahead goes dark and you can try to push on toward it, but its gates are locked. The book has a promise. In this wreck, your lost self can find you. I'm told to list the qualities of my ideal partner. No. First, I have something I need to say. Fuck boys, you are not special. This is worse for me than it is for you because I'm the one stuck in a jiff in which I sit at a bar and smile while you tell me about this one time you were drinking with your buddies and this one thing happened. I want you. I want to listen to your collarbones and lick the skin over your ribs and slide my fingers along your iliac crests. But I don't need you the way the women of my great-great-grandmother's generation needed the men who slid in and out of their lives after the whites hustled the Cascade people onto reservations, hanged their leaders, and upended the ways of living that had been shaped over 10,000 years. 150 years ago, the women in my maternal line learned to complete themselves because white men had broken the world in which men and women fed each other what they needed to become whole. Soft boys of Tinder, hear me. I have my own car, my own cash, my own large exotic zoo animals with which to recline. I cook my own meals, catch my own fish, write my own inspirational quotes. I am the substance I use to intoxicate myself, moving my bones for the mirror over and over, making and unmaking a cup of my collarbone and trapezius. I come from women whose dresses drip with the dentalium shells that were pulled from deep water and used like cash. I come from high status women with cradleboard flattened heads, from women with their own canoes, their own land in the place where they'd lived for 10,000 years. Men of my history, hear me. When you talk down to me, fuck around on me, disappear from me, lie to me, that's an interesting perspective, but actually me, you disrespect a woman made of women, knotted in a long string stretching back before massacre. The egg that would become my mother was in my grandmother's ovary when her mother severed the cord. The first of us came from eggs the thunderbird laid near the mouth of the river. I have my own blade, my own wings, my own lanced heart that might never heal, but will never need your salve. I do not want you badly enough to let you grip the rim of the hole, climb in and leave it full of emojis and come. The hole is perfect and you cannot touch it. I delete the app.
Ooh, unmute yourselves and give it up for Dugaya.
Dugaya!
Oh my
Beautiful,
God, woman.
incredible.
Yes, yes,
Strong.
yes,
Thank you for
yes,
sharing.
yes,
Thanks to
yes,
share.
yes,
Thank you for sharing.
Talk that shit.
yes.
Kyla Dugaya Garcia, make sure you give her a follow. Kyla, make sure Kyla, make sure you go and put your info into the chat so people know how to follow you. She is an incredibly talented artist herself. Look at her doing voiceover work. I didn't even know that. But now, I'm not surprised, right? She be bringing that fire. So before we end, shout out to Idiunga, who I saw step in a few minutes ago. Love you, sis. Hope all is well with you. Also, shout out to Jasmine, who's staying up really late in the UK, checking us out. Shout out to Marsha Rivera, who's here too. She had been on the list, but she wasn't able to perform, but she's still stuck around. You know what I'm saying? Get them hats low, get that brim low. Brooklyn in the building, or in the Zoom chat. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. I had such a good night tonight. Oh, Poetic wearing the Nuyorican Poets Cafe hat. I see that. I love that. Mom now out Japan. I had such a good night tonight. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Poet Appreciation is the last Monday. Oh, and Gustav is wearing the Nuyorican Poets Cafe shirt. I love it. I love it. I'm actually next month going to start working on some new merchandise for New Yo. So be on the lookout for that. Some official stuff for New Yo will be on the website. But with that being said, make sure that you go check out the Nuyorican Poets Cafe on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. Not on Twitter though. We don't want anyone to write a poem about us like Kyla had just read about. So New Yo is not on Tinder, y'all. Make sure you look up Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Shout out to my producer, Mr. Ron Mark Thompson. Of course, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter and on YouTube at Advocate of Words. You can't find me on Tinder because I already have a girlfriend. So long as I keep her away from Urban Cowboy Poet. And also want to make sure that I catch everything. I think I caught everything. So because this is Poet Appreciation Night, and because we also appreciate our poets on Thursday night, I figure that I would let our Thursday night host, Ray Jane, end the evening for us. Wait, where is she? Did she step away? Ray Jane, you better be there, Ray Jane. Ray Jane, oh, she's there. She just unmuted herself. Wait, where's your video, Ray Jane? Where's your video? There she is, Ray Jane. So if y'all enjoyed tonight and y'all inspired and you're like, God damn it, I need to share another poem. On Thursday night, Ray Jane is hosting at 9 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, you go on the nuyorican.org to sign up. You click full events count. Well, the same way you signed up for Mondays, except you click the Thursday date. With that being said, Ray Jane, take us home. The floor is yours, sis.
Yes, peace to you, all you beautiful souls. Peace to Advocate. You are our inspiration. So how appropriate to end the night with the peace that comes from you. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Algarin into your home. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic, presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, hosted by Advocate of Words. On behalf of the community tonight, I, Ray Jane, would like to say, good night, sweet poet.